Do you ever feel like the weight of life is crushing you? The worries you carry every day, anxieties about the future, and the pains of human relationships, all these burdens can sometimes make it difficult to sleep at night. Why do I have to suffer so much? Is there no way to escape this suffering? How long will it continue? For those of you who have come to this video with such thoughts, today we will share a story that carries deep Buddhist wisdom passed down for over 2,600 years. This story offers profound insights through the journey of a young man in ancient India who, despite struggling with the weight of life, confronts and overcomes his suffering. What will you feel as you listen to this story? What changes might it bring to your own life? After you finish, please share your thoughts, feelings, and realizations in the comments. Your words may offer strength to someone else facing similar struggles. So, let's take a deep breath, calm our hearts, and embark on this journey together. In a small village by the Ganges River in ancient India, there lived a young man named Rama. He had just turned 25, yet there was already a look of deep sorrow in his young eyes. From dawn until late at night, he managed the family weaving business in the marketplace. Between his long hours at work, he also had to care for his bedridden mother. The once colorful woven fabrics hanging on the market stalls were once the pride of the village. However, due to his father's passing, Rama struggled with debt to keep the shop running, leading to a decline in the quality of his goods and a decrease in customers. But more than anything, it was the uncertainty about his future that troubled Rama's heart the most. At night, he would lie in his small room, staring at the ceiling, spiraling into endless thoughts. Why did my father have to leave so soon? Will my mother's illness ever improve? Will I ever repay these debts? Is this how my life will always be? The villagers each carried their own burdens. Ramu, the fish seller, worried about his rebellious son, while Priya, the vegetable vendor, endured her husband's violence. Yet they somehow seemed to live in peace. Rama could not understand how. One summer evening, after an especially painful day, Rama sat under an ancient banyan tree on the outskirts of the village, lost in thought. The only sound accompanying his troubled thoughts was the gentle rustle of the tree leaves swaying in the evening breeze. At that moment, a traveling monk approached. His appearance was humble, yet his demeanor carried a sense of dignity, and his eyes radiated a gentle warmth. The monk sat quietly beside Rama, offering a kind smile. "Young man, what troubles weigh on your heart?" There was a mysterious warmth in his voice, and, though hesitant at first, Rama eventually found himself pouring out all his worries, his mother's illness, the burden of debt, his anxieties about the future. It was as if he was releasing a flood of emotions he had long held back. "I have nowhere to lay down these heavy burdens," he confessed, his voice trembling with despair. "Every day is filled with suffering, and I see no end in sight." The monk nodded quietly, listening with understanding, as the evening light began to fade. "Not far from here, up on the mountainside, there is a wise man named Buddha," the monk began. "Many people seek him out to find clarity for their troubled hearts. I believe he can help you understand your own struggles." A glimmer of hope sparked in Rama's heart, but at the same time, he hesitated, thinking about his obligations. "But my mother needs me. The shop, too," the monk smiled kindly. "Sometimes, stepping away is necessary. A temporary separation may be preparation for a joyful reunion. And your peace of mind will surely be a comfort to your mother as well." That night, Rama confided in his mother, in their dimly lit room where the lamp flickered softly. She gently held his hand and, in a faint voice, said, "Go, my son. The villagers will help me, and nothing would bring me greater joy than to see your heart unburdened." Tears streamed down Rama's face, filled with gratitude, love, and a hint of hope. Early the next morning, with the first light of dawn, Rama set out with only the bare essentials. The villagers gathered to see him off. Ramu, the fish seller, promised to look after his mother, while Priya encouraged him, saying, "You'll find the answers you're looking for." As he climbed the mountain path, Rama's heart wavered between hope and anxiety. The journey was sometimes steep, and there were moments he felt lost, but as he pressed on, he felt his heart gradually grow lighter. After 3 days, Rama finally arrived at Buddha's hermitage, a humble hut on a serene mountain. Buddha, an elderly man with an unexplainable calmness, was quietly seated before the hut. Even the air around him seemed purified by his presence. "Welcome, Rama," Buddha greeted him. Rama was taken aback. How did Buddha know his name? Buddha smiled gently. "Your suffering has spoken your name. Your heartfelt emotions have told me your story." With reverence and awe, Rama knelt before Buddha and began sharing all his burdens once again. His voice trembled, and sometimes tears fell, but Buddha listened intently, his expression remaining calm and compassionate. Once Rama finished, Buddha led him to the back of the hermitage, where a large rock lay surrounded by beautiful flowers, with birds chirping nearby. "Lift that rock," Buddha said. Confused but obedient, Rama approached the rock and tried lifting it. Despite his best efforts, the rock was incredibly heavy, and he nearly dropped it immediately. His arms trembled, sweat ran down his brow, and soon, he could barely hold on. "Hold it for an hour," Buddha instructed quietly. Rama struggled, holding on with all his might, but after only 10 minutes, his arms began to shake violently. By 20 minutes, a sharp pain shot through his back, and by 30, even his vision started to blur. "I can't do it," he gasped in pain. "Just a little longer," Buddha urged. Finally, after an hour, Rama set the rock down, his body drenched in sweat and exhausted. Buddha then asked, "Doesn't the pain of life resemble this rock? The longer you hold it, the heavier it feels. But remember, you can always set down that burden. And once you do, you'll find the strength to lift it again if you need to." Buddha's words resonated deeply with Rama. He realized that he had been holding on to many burdens, believing he could never let them go, and that this belief only magnified his suffering. Buddha continued, "Much of our suffering is born within our own minds. Attachments, desires, fears, they form shackles that bind our hearts. Now, you are tormented by the weight of your debts. But is it truly the debt itself that pains you? Or is it the despair and fear about being in debt?" Rama's eyes widened in realization. The debt existed as a fact, but his despair over it made him feel it was insurmountable. "But how can I overcome this suffering?" Rama asked earnestly. Buddha replied, "Begin by observing your own mind. Every morning, as the sun rises, sit quietly and focus on your breath. Even if thoughts arise, don't chase after them. Simply observe them, as if watching a river flow by. Thoughts are like shadows on the surface of the water, watch them without attachment and let them pass by." Buddha then shared one more important teaching. "As for your mother's illness, it indeed brings great pain. But ask yourself, what can you do? Simply be by her side and offer her love. Your presence alone is a precious gift to her. Don't blame yourself for not being able to cure her illness. Instead, focus on what you can do at this moment, for that is true compassion." Tears welled in Rama's eyes. He remembered his mother's peaceful expression whenever he was by her side, perhaps her way of showing gratitude. "As for your debt," Buddha continued, "it is indeed a heavy burden, but you don't have to repay it all at once. Start with small steps, and see it as a lesson. Hardships can sometimes be the greatest teachers." Rama spent 7 days under Buddha's guidance. At first, he found it difficult to meditate, as his mind was overwhelmed with thoughts. However, day by day, he felt his heart becoming calmer. In the evenings, through conversations with Buddha, he learned to view life from a new perspective. On the last day, as the sunset bathed the mountains in red, Buddha told Rama, "Life inevitably includes suffering, but this is not something to avoid. It's an opportunity to grow. The key is to face it, understand it, and have the courage to let it go. Within you, the strength to do so already exists. Upon returning to the village, Rama found a renewed sense of purpose in caring for his mother, no longer feeling the burden he once had. On good days, they watched the sunset together. As for his debt, he tackled it step by step, gaining financial wisdom along the way. With his newfound peace, he also began to attract more customers, and the quality of his goods improved. Soon, even loyal customers returned, happy to see his former brightness returning. Rama's inner transformation began to positively influence those around him as well. His previously somber expression was replaced with a gentle smile, and the villagers, noticing his change, began confiding their troubles in him. Ramu, the fish seller, came to seek advice about his son, and Rama listened patiently, sharing the value of letting go, as Buddha had taught him. Priya, too, began to find courage in facing her own fears. Time passed, and 2 years later, one morning, Rama's mother passed away peacefully. Though he felt deep sadness, Rama's heart was filled with gratitude for the time they shared. Her final words were, "Thank you, Rama. Ever since you changed, my heart has felt lighter." With time, Rama fully repaid his debts, using the lessons he learned to expand the family business. The shop regained its place as the finest weaving store in the village. One evening, Rama sat once more under the ancient banyan tree, reflecting on the journey of his life. The weight of his burdens had lifted, replaced by a profound sense of understanding and compassion. As he sat there, a young man approached, carrying an expression of suffering much like his own once had. With a gentle smile, Rama invited him to sit, saying, "What troubles weigh on your heart?" In that moment, Rama realized that the traveling monk who once spoke to him under this tree was none other than Buddha himself. Now, he too would become a guiding light for others. Such is the mysterious path of life. This story teaches us how to face and release the burdens of life. Suffering may be inevitable, but it is not a weight we must carry forever. We always have the choice to lay it down, and by having the courage to do so, a new path unfolds. The key lies in these 3 principles: live in the present moment, cultivate gratitude, and avoid unnecessary attachment. These are the paths to true liberation. If you, too, are carrying a heavy burden right now, remember, you have the power to let it go. And sometimes, letting go is the very first step to moving forward. When you take that step, your heart will begin to clear, as if the morning sun were lifting the clouds. Thank you for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed this video. Let us continue to draw from the wisdom of Buddhism to enrich and brighten our lives.